Hello, 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 and we're actually doing a third episode. Amazing. And now there's an actual name to this show, Power of Positivity. To show the people that whose content, whose personality, whose entire being I find either really really enjoyable to watch and really almost inspiring in a way. Actually, it is inspiring in a way. And today's guest, she's an amazing person. So, welcome to the show, Chrissy.
Thanks for having me.
Um, from now on, I'll be calling her Speedy because it's a nickname I sort of came up with for her while I was watching her streams. But anyways, speaking of streams, what motivated you to start streaming? Start any kind of internet content.
Yeah, it didn't always start out as streaming. I remember being like 7 or 8 or something, and it was like the first time YouTube was starting to blow up, and I was just poking around looking at NASCAR stuff because big NASCAR nerd at the time, still kind of am. And I remember seeing a video. It was called NASCAR Racing 2003 at its greatest. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. It's by 24 Camshaft 24. It's basically just a glorified crash compilation. Going back now, terrible frame rate, goofy like storyboard. Like it's got that like 2007 air all over it. It was just a dude having fun. He uploaded a bunch of crashes and cool moments and thought they were cool and wanted to share it. And I think it's no surprise he triggered a movement for a lot of people to start doing that. So I wanted to do that for a really long time. I think I was like 10 or 11 when I got on YouTube. I know, pretty cringe. It started with like recording my TV screen with my laptop camera because I didn't have a capture card. I made like NASCAR the game clips and Gran Turismo and stuff like that. And then I finally got a capture card, started doing some more stuff, and I don't know, people just stuck around. I made a bunch of crash comps from NASCAR Racing 2003 and NASCAR the game 2011 and Inside Line. People liked it. I just kind of went on and off doing tutorials and stuff. I just pretty much uploaded whatever I felt like I wanted to do. Um, but eventually, I had a good break when the Gran Turismo Sport beta came out. I was one of the people to play it. And had a huge influx in my channel when that happened. But this is kind of where I started to. So I did stream for a little bit there. I used to stream my point of view of races and league races and stuff besides that. Um, but I got really tired of YouTube. Um, YouTube's algorithm now is really strange. So I got really frustrated. You'd put a bunch of effort into a video and like share it to everybody, and even still today, like you'll do that and like it gets like 20 views, which shouldn't matter too much, but like it's really rewarding when you put work into it and then it explodes. Like I'd post the same thing on Reddit and like get 400, 500 upvotes. People be like, "Wow, that's really cool." I was like, "Cool." So I started doing Twitch because for one, I use a lot of music in my videos because I just like to have a chill time. I got really frustrated when all my streams got DCMA'd. Um, but yeah, since I've been doing Twitch, it seems like a lot of people show up for me, not just for the content. So I feel like we have a really nice community of people. It's always a lot of fun. Doesn't matter if we're making city blocks on city skylines or we're like doing literal esport events with like some of the best racers in the world. Like I don't know, everybody turns out. It's always a great time. Um, it's just fun. It's nice. I love making content. The biggest thing is when people are like, this I was having a terrible day. I'm glad this is on. I feel so much better now. That stuff's totally worth it. Makes me feel really nice inside.
It's nice to hear all of that. Um, I was while we were talking, you said you started around 10, 11. Did
Hmm.
any of those early videos survive the sands of time?
Yeah, I only took out a couple. Obviously, I'm a much different person now, in like every aspect than I was back then. But I never really talked or showed my face in videos then, so I left most of them up. Um, I think the only ones I ever got rid of were the ones where like you could hear my parents talking in the background, or if like somebody's arm got in the way. You can go on my channel on YouTube right now and still see my second oldest video, which is a 2010 Formula One, like the F1 2010 game crash compilation, with like the generic like YouTube like music library stuff. It's terrible. You can barely understand what's going on, but yeah, a lot of the videos I tried to leave up because I always saw people that I admired. They were, and I understand why people do it. A lot of people go through changes. I've thought about it a lot, about taking down some of these old videos just because the quality's terrible. But I always got a little bummed when I heard about my favorite creators taking down their old videos because I like to go back and watch them sometimes to see how far uh, myself or other creators have really come. So yeah, almost all of, I'd say about 95% of the videos are still up. I plan to keep them up for as long as I can. So yeah, there's stuff as old as 13 years ago on my YouTube still.
That's very admirable. I got to admit, I even myself have deleted old videos because I was either in a dark place and suddenly everything I did was horrible, or I just didn't gel with what I had done.
Hmm.
So honestly, props to you for keeping all that stuff, or as much stuff as you keep.
Yeah,
Um,
it's fun to look back too. Like there's some stinkers. There are some absolute stinkers in there, but it's always good to look back, especially on the old compilations I used to make to see how like my most recent compilations, like with iRacing and stuff, and all the tools you getting to move the cameras. It's crazy to see what a decade of video editing and camera work will do. Um, but then there's just old stuff, like some stuff split screen. There was like a glitch in NASCAR the game Inside Line with a friend from like middle school. We were playing split screen and stuff happened, so it was always kind of cute because I get to think back to when I was hanging out with those people in my life. And yeah, no, I don't have any plans to take them down unless there's like a security risk or something, because even though they're like garbage, like some of them aren't, honestly. I look back at a couple of them and I'm like, oh wow, that was actually pretty cool. But even though some of them are garbage, they're just cute because I was like, I don't know, I was freaking 10 years old or some stuff making like YouTube videos, you know? It's cute.
um, do you have a favorite video of yours?
Oh shoot. Yeah, but they're all probably new ones. Um
Hey, that's valid.
yeah, I like to think that probably my latest YouTube videos, because I don't make videos as much anymore, but I like to think that my videos tend to be the most recent ones, probably my favorite, because it sounds really cliche, but I'm always trying to outdo myself with each video. I want to take everything I've learned from the last one, because I still do a bunch of compilations, basically. Um, there are some ones that I'm really proud of that flopped so hard, are like total stinky doo doo videos, and I'm like, man, I worked so hard on these. I don't know. It's tough to point down to just one, but I'd like to think that a lot of the videos that I've put out that are actually edited, um, like the edit I did of a Gran Turismo 4 stream, it flopped so hard, but I thought it was cute. I still go back and watch it sometimes just to see if I still like it. I still do. Any of the iRacing edits I've done lately, NASCAR 2023 at its greatest, which is quite obviously a nod to what made me start making videos what over 15 years ago now. Renegade is a really good one. I'm super proud of that one. Performed really well. Like I said, it didn't perform well on YouTube, but that was one of the ones I posted on Reddit, and it like blew up, and it was really cool to see that. Um, yeah, there's some old ones in there too. It's a lot of diamonds in the rough. Maybe I should put like a playlist on there of all my favorite videos so we can keep all the stinky ones and still get like my favorites in there.
Yeah, that sounds like something I'd watch, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um, how did you mentioned racing a couple times? I know you make official commentary on some races. How did
Mhm.
the opportunity to start doing stuff like that come about? And um did you ever think, like, when you started, you ever think you'd be doing so much of it?
Yeah, honestly. I started doing commentary on stuff. I would like play with diecasts in my parents' house at like age 7 with a camcorder and be like commentating over it. So I've always been super chatty, super talkative. It's why I started making like Let's Plays and stuff too, because I feel like I've almost talked too much, I think. I talk too many times on my streams. Even today, sometimes I just explain what's going on a lot. Um, but my good friend Carmen Sienna, her and I go way back to like almost 10 years ago, probably even 10 years ago. And we did commentary for a bunch of like fantasy B-spec leagues. Like we'd make a bunch of AI cars and run races and then commentate that. We had a bunch of people like a bunch of people we know would make drivers and it'd be like a whole thing. Everybody would be involved in it. Everybody would have their driver. Um, and we'd commentate the races. We did like IndyCar like that. We did NASCAR like that. It was really fun. It was stressful as heck at sometimes, but it was definitely a lot of great practice. Carmen is an absolute like juggernaut because she just relentlessly kept pushing through. And while I kind of went to pursue like the racing career side of things once I got to iRacing, she did that too, but she was really also focused on creating a big network to do broadcasts and stuff. And that's how it started as like Aero Broadcast. I think it is still Aero Broadcast Network, but yeah, that's how ABN started. She just was like, hey, we can make money off of this now. That's what we all kind of looked at each other and said once we moved from like what is it? We moved from like NASCAR and Gran Turismo to going into iRacing. We're like, hey, we could like make money now because iRacing is like there's a lot of good opportunities in iRacing to make some side cash. And she freaking ran with it. I'm super proud of her, honestly, and I've always been around the ABN sphere, either racing or helping commentate or whatever, and now I produce, and that's the most fun I've had in a long time is just running cameras and stuff. Um, no, I love that stuff. I mean, but I don't think I'd be where I was if it wasn't for Carmen because she really laid that whole foundation pretty much by herself. Like she had help along the way, but like she just spearheaded that whole thing and would not give up on it. And I'm super glad that she's getting a lot of recognition lately because she definitely deserves it. And to be able to get like, I don't know what the word would be to get like opportunities back for having like invested myself in that on and off throughout the years is super cool. Um, we have a great working relationship. I don't know. We've known each other for almost 10 years now. We'll probably be working together for another 10 or 20. So, um, yeah, I think we always knew it was a possibility, especially once money started getting into the opportunity because it's paid my bills more than a couple times.
Yeah, glad. It's really truly nice to hear that. I hope it continues to work out well for, well, as long as you want to do it at the very least.
Yeah.
um, I when did you think, like, yeah, this, like, whenever it was while still doing videos or while streaming or while doing commentary, when do you think, okay, I can, this is gonna be my do you remember like the moment where you're like, okay, this is my life now, this is what I'm gonna do professionally?
Well, I don't know, because I don't know that I'm at that point yet even. Um, it's not a very profitable thing to get into, unfortunately. I wish it was. It is for some people. People who put in a lot of hard work can, but It's definitely a field where you'll put in a lot of hard work and not get a lot of return from it, which is definitely discouraging at times. Um, I almost feel like every time I looked at it as a career per se, in the sense of like, this is what I'm gonna do to support myself, I always felt like my content started falling flat. Um, I think it started to stress me more than anything. There have absolutely been a couple times in my life around COVID and um, the last year or so, I've met a lot of other content creators that are really good and do support themselves. Aerotech is just one of them. Um, and that gave me some tools to work with. So I definitely streamed full time more than a couple times. I'm sure I'll end up streaming full time in the future again. Um, who knows? Maybe one of these days it'll take off all the way, but I'd love to do it. But I don't know. I think it's just kind of a means to an end sort of thing, as far as like, it's something that I enjoy. It's something that I'm decent enough at. And it's something that I can do to support myself. But I don't know that I would ever say to somebody straight up like, "Oh yeah, it makes a ton of money. Jump right in. You'll make hundreds and hundreds of dollars." Because that's never what's gonna happen. It takes a lot of hard work. It can be super stressful, and I think the second that starts taking away from the content you're providing, the second you're not having fun anymore, I don't think you're in it for the right reasons.
Yeah, those are very good points. Uh,
Yeah, sorry for like the non-answer there, but
no, 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 no. You answered what you wanted to answer. I'm
yeah.
not here to make you answer in a way that you don't want to.
No, it's fine. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It's just a hard. I don't know. It was a tricky. It's a super dependent situation, I guess. So
um, do you see yourself like, um, if able to, do you see yourself doing this for the rest of your life, or do you see yourself eventually deciding, nah, I had enough, I had a good run, and quit?
I don't know if I'd say forever, but I also don't know if I'd say I quit either. I think, especially right now, I'm in a really weird spot with how I've been making content lately, because we went from a part where I pretty much was full-time streaming. I've dialed it back quite a bit because life got in the way. And opportunities to make money and support myself were there at the time. So it heavily depends. I think I'll probably stream forever, or as long as I'm like capable of doing it, I guess I would say, because I just enjoy it a lot. Um, whether or not I'll be full time again, I have no idea. Whether or not, if I do, I'll stay that way forever, I would say probably not. Unless something happens to a point where I get to be one of the very fortunate few that just, blow up. If I could support myself like every day doing it, like if I could make enough money to like be like, yeah, this is like paying every bill I have and I have a savings account and stuff, then yeah, I'd probably do it for as long as I could take it. But it definitely is a draining field. Um and it's super unlikely to hit it big per se. Besides, I also just like having fun more. I think the streams we've had lately where I haven't been full time and it's just been kind of hanging out with friends and playing games, having fun. That's always just been a better time for me, I think. Um, so again, it's not a solid answer one way or the other, but it's heavily dependent, I guess. I would like to stream at least like once or twice a month, like forever. Honestly, I do enjoy the streams. It's just more about, um, you know, can I support myself? Um, am I doing the things I want to do in life outside of the internet world? Am I having a good time? Am I, am I meeting the needs that I want beyond the internet world? So it depends, but I'd
Well,
like to.
well, not everyone gets to be a Canadian twink. Uh, so sorry, that was silly of me.
You talk about Arrow or XQC? I can't.
Arrow. I'm
I
more
guess it,
familiar
it applies
with
for both
Keenan.
of them. I think so. I
I,
think all Canadians are twinks at this point. I haven't found one that isn't. So
well, any Canadian who happens to watch this, can you prove or
can confirm
disprove?
or deny.
Christ. Um, Speaking of Arrow, how did you two meet?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, we just met on Twitter, I think, for a while. And uh, yeah, I don't know. He just was one of the people that he was like a reply guy for a while. So yeah, we hung out for a bit. Dated for a little while. And yeah, I don't know. I've learned a lot from him about how to stream and how to approach things like that. So I'm very grateful for that. I haven't talked to him in a hot minute, but I hope he's doing good. I know he's still streaming often, so um, it was a super crazy time in my life. But yeah, I got all the love in the world for that guy. He's a big goober. So but we met on Twitter, which is just such a crazy thing to say. But yeah, he was a reply guy for a little bit, and we did a bunch of stuff together, and yeah,
Yeah, when Twitter was Twitter.
pretty much, yeah. Before it, but I think yeah, it was before X and all that stuff happened, so it was still a proper functioning website.
Amazing. Uh, um, do you have any plans for the future?
As far as
Streaming any kind of content? Do you have something that you're like somewhat in your mind to do in the future?
yeah, too many, honestly. That's my biggest crutch, I think. I have too many ideas and not enough time or energy to commit to one of them. So, uh, people that are on my streams know I'm like a serial game not finisher, if that makes sense. I'll start like freaking, I don't know. I'll have like 5 Let's Plays started and we'll finish maybe 2 of them. Um, and then we'll always be like, we'll come back and finish it, but when we never finish it. I think we finished Burnout, we finished Dirt Showdown, and that's about it. um, oh, and Flat Out too. So we've completed a couple of games. I prefer the games that are open ended anyway, like City Skylines or iRacing and stuff that just never ends. But um, yeah, no, I don't know. I definitely, especially since I've been gone for a bit, I have plenty of plans. I want to play a lot of Need for Speed because the update's super fun. And it's brought a lot of our community together recently. I'd love to do some stuff on Forza Horizon again because I'd like to get my money's worth out of that game. I enjoyed it a lot. I just don't know why I haven't been playing it. Um, I would love to do some more community-based stuff. Y'all are horny bastards though, so it's tough to it's tough to organize things. But talking about my community, anyways. But um. No, I'd love to do some more community stuff. We did some community stuff on WRC, and that was really fun. WRC is such a fun game to play. I would love to play it more, but it takes so much physically out of me. It's a very physically taxing game. And I'll be real, I haven't been enjoying simulator games as much lately because I've just been kind of burnt out on them. So I've been enjoying arcade stuff. I want to get back into City Skylines too because I hear it's not garbage anymore, maybe. I guess mods came out, so hopefully the game's a little more fun to play. Yeah, I have like I really should start writing stuff down more. I've written down some stuff sometimes, but I could probably fill a notebook with ideas of stuff to do for videos. Especially there's so many cinematic videos I want to make, but it's just trying to commit to something, and sometimes you start a project and it kind of fizzles out after a while. So um, yeah, there's too much, honestly. I need to just commit to some stuff, I think, or put it up to vote. We have a big vote on my server too. There's plenty of games we can play, so there's no shortage of ideas at the moment, which is a great thing.
Yeah, I agree. Personally, when I have a lot of ideas, I just whip out my phone and just type them in a note. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, because otherwise, if I go to grab a piece of paper, I've forgotten half of them by then.
Yeah.
Um, One thing, while we were asking, oh, while we were asking, I'm English is a fuck, you know. Uh, while you were answering this last question, you talked about WRC. Um, and every time I go to your chat in your streams, even if you're mid stage, you always reading chat. How do you do that? I've seen so many people stream that game, and everyone else that I've seen can't chat. One can't keep up with chat mid stage, and you somehow can. What do you do to make that happen?
Be born with neurodivergency, I guess. I don't know. I think it's like a half joke. I feel like that game more than anything like confirmed that I have just a little bit different, for better for worse. I don't know. Everyone always says that. I've had some big streamers watch me play WRC and they go, I don't know how you do it. Emery, who I like watched for years and like looked up to since like a long time ago, popping into my stream, rating me, saying hi, and being like, I don't know how you can do that. I'm like, bro, you're Emery. You can do anything. What do you mean? I don't know. I think I guess I can multitask it pretty well. I know a lot of the stages pretty comfortably, geez, at this point. Um However, I think I just have it set up in a way. I try to keep the chat as close to the actual game screen as I can, so I don't have to look too far away. Because you'd be surprised the difference of looking like 3 inches to the side and still having the course in your peripheral versus like looking down in your lap at your phone. It's a huge difference. The peripheral vision's really huge. I'm also like basically I think I'm technically a Gen Z, so I just got that Zoomer energy in me, I guess. I don't know. I think I think I struggle. Like I said, sometimes I talk too much and explain too much what's going on. I also feel like I look at chat too often sometimes because I um, almost can lose track of what I'm doing. However, um, it keeps people entertained. It keeps people to stick around. I think that's one of the unique things I have when I stream WRC that a lot of like the good people, like the Swedes, don't have. Um, because they're super focused on the lap time. I'm just having fun, really. I just really enjoyed the rallying. There's definitely times where I'm like, hold on, I gotta lock in, I gotta cook, but um no, I don't know. It just has always been that way, I guess. It was like that way with streaming league races too. I would just tend to look over and I guess my brain just is hardwired to look at chat every now and then, even if it's for a split second. And a lot of the time, people aren't typing, huge paragraphs. It's usually like a one or two sentence thing, and it's pretty easy to watch that while listening to the co-driver's notes to know what's coming up and just relying on, I've ran like every stage of Japan like 6,000 times now, so I have a good idea what corners are coming up and stuff like that. So I think it's a big combination of just memory and multitasking. And I'll be real, I probably got to go catch a diagnosis one day or something because I don't know. I might have ADHD. Who knows?
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think it's because of being neurodivergent, because I'm neurodivergent and I can't even imagine myself pulling half of the stuff you pull. I'd be, I'd be just do everything wrong and be a massive disaster.
Well, don't get me wrong. There have been some fucking disaster runs on the WRC. We have torn some stuff up. Pretty much any time I did Shifts and Giggles, which was a league that we do in our community, which I really should stop neglecting. I should get back on that. I think I've crashed out of every rally that I've done. That's my own rally, and I don't know why. I made the frickin' rally, and then I crash out in the first 5 stages. So it's not always perfect.
Well, make it a best crash wins competition then.
Yeah, then I'd be on top every time. I can wrap cars around trees like you wouldn't believe, dude.
Smooch the tree competition. Uh, all right, all right, all right. Um, when I was thinking about people to interview for this, uh, oh, you were right on one of the first people I went to to ask, and you were so nice, so willing, and I had to take the time to thank you again. Um, you also did my banner and whatnot. How did you start doing that kind of stuff? Now that I think of it, banners and artwork and that kind of stuff.
Your mic cut for a sec. Did you say how did I get into it?
Uh, Okay, okay. Let me
I'm sorry. What was the question?
like you. When did you start doing banners and artwork and that kind of stuff? Since you've
Or
done
when?
mine, I might as well ask.
Yeah, I did a bunch of like liveries and stuff on cars the same time that I was doing my first stuff in YouTube. Like the NASCAR the game had like a full livery editor and stuff, so I always was like messing with that. I've gone to college for like digital media and design. I've gone through so many classes in either high school or college for that. I've read up so many things. I've admired and studied a lot of different artists. So honestly, um, when I guess I've always done stuff like that. When I started doing banners and stuff, I guess was about the same time that I started doing YouTube because, or Twitch for that matter, because I kind of just started designing everything for myself because I don't want to sound stingy. I just like that everything on my channel, just about everything in my branding and my like all of that, almost all of it is made by me. Um, which I really take a lot of pride in. I think it's cool that almost all of it is original, and um, you're not gonna find a whole lot out there otherwise. Especially with my cars and stuff. Almost all of my cars that I'll run on stream are made by me. So I take a lot of pride in that work. So I've kind of done it for myself, and then once people were like, "Hey, I'll pay you to do it again," I'm like, "Bet, I have no problems with that. I will." I don't know. I'm not a big fan of capitalism, but you've got to play the game. So anytime somebody's like, "Hey, I'll give you money to do something that you've done like 1,000 times anyway," I'm like, "Bet, dude, I'm there." So yeah, no, it's always fun to work with somebody too, especially when it's somebody like you who's like already a friend, because then there's a lot less stress about it. Everybody's really chill about everything. Um, and it always presents challenges because the way that I approach things is going to be different from how how I approach things for people, for clients, is always different than how I approach stuff for myself. So it's always really interesting to try and get those challenges, like trying to make what, for example, since it was what you mentioned, when I made your banner and stuff, it was fun because it's totally different from stuff that I've done before. So it was really fun exploring those different mediums, and I think every time I take on a job like that, I become a better artist in general for it, and that part is super, super fun. It makes every client later less scary than the last. So
Yeah, and you're always making sure I knew where things were going, that I knew the how far along things were going. I always felt like I knew what was up, and I always felt comfortable. Oh, maybe a bit more like this or a bit more like that. I you were extremely professional, and hey, if anyone watching this enjoys the banner of my channel and whatnot, you know who to talk to. Uh,
yeah,
it'll
yeah,
be
I
in the
like this.
description of this video. If I'm not a
Heck
dummy.
yeah. No, yeah, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate the kind words. I'll be real, I'm still new to like doing jobs for people. I've done it for Carmen a bunch. So we, like I said, we have a good working relationship. I've done all kinds of graphics and videos for her. Um, you're probably like maybe the fifth or sixth person outside of ABN that I've worked with. So I'm still really new to it. So um, Yeah, I like to send all those stuffs because the last thing I'd want to do is like make the whole thing and then you're like, oh, I mean, it's done, but I don't like it, and I'm like, oh, now I gotta do the whole thing again. So yeah, I'd rather just check in, even if it is like 35 times. But um, no,
You know,
I really enjoyed it.
yeah, it didn't show it was like the fifth or sixth one you were doing. It really didn't. If you said it was the 100th or the 200th one you were doing, I would have believed it.
Well, good. I'm a good liar.
All right. um, is what do you have, like, in general in life? Do you have something of a main goal?
Get into motorsports somehow, some way. Whether that's driving the car or working on the car or taking pictures of the car or uh hell, I'd even fly to Japan and be a grid girl. Like I'd drop everything to go be a Super GT grid girl like today. So I don't know. Anything to be around cars. Anything to kind of get as close as I can to being in the driver's seat or at least make enough money that I can put myself in the driver's seat. It all kind of revolves around that. I don't really need to be a NASCAR or F1 or like some big old motorsport like that. I would be perfectly happy running like the 24-hour of Lemons with like three of my closest friends, and we just throw a rod through the block every year. Like, I don't know. It would just, I think so much of my life has changed in the last like, let alone the last 3 years, but like in the last 10 years. But something that's always been the same is I've always been in love with motorsports. I've always admired it. I've always wanted to do it. I've been very fortunate through opportunities in esports to get extremely close to it. Um, Especially the last couple years, I've been insanely lucky to get to some of the stages I've gotten to, and esports has been a really good way to get all of those uh, dreams to sort of come true. Like I was always like, I want to be a NASCAR driver, and like realistically, I'll probably not ever end up in like the top three tiers of NASCAR. But I did end up in eNASCAR for a little bit, and I was like, hell, that's good enough for me. Like I don't care what kind of NASCAR it is. NASCAR is NASCAR, so that was pretty cool. I was on the NASCAR.com website. Like that was like insane to me. More than once, I think, too. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy to read articles about the event you're in and see your name on the article of like this big website for motorsports news, and it's like it's an insane feeling. So as much as I'd love to like be in the Cup Series one day, I don't know that I'll have enough money, or I'm pretty old by standards of that. If you're not like 18, it's kind of like, well, you're not gonna be an F1. So I don't know. I'd love to do photography. I'd love to drive in a lower series if I could or something. I don't know. I just something relating to motorsports is basically all I want to do.
Honestly, even as a fan, when you're a fan and a friend, seeing your name or someone else that some other people that I happen to follow, like in a NASCAR website or R Racing or
Hmm.
Red Bull, or like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Uh, I it always catches me off guard. But in a good way. I'm
You and
always
me
happy for
both.
y'all's
Yeah.
successes.
Yeah, it's a whirlwind. But it really kind of shows that if you put a lot of effort into anything, you can get somewhere, which is cool. It's good to finally like I don't know. If I stopped sim racing today, I had a successful run. So like I'm super stoked that I got everything I wanted out of it. Everything from here on out's just a bonus. So yeah, no, I've had some pretty life-changing experiences in the last 24 months. So
Um, if memory serves, and I hope it's okay to ask this. If it's not, just tell me and we'll move on.
mhm.
But if memory serves, tomorrow the first starts Pride Month, correct?
Yeah.
And if I'm not being, my brain isn't malfunctioning. Uh, when you were born, you were how do I really need
I
to.
know what you're trying to say, and
Yeah.
yes,
Um.
that is correct. It was not always this way.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Um.
yeah. I go ahead.
Um. Do you have like, to anyone who might be listening who is either starting to figure it out themselves or isn't quite sure how to come up to their friends about it, do you have any words of advice?
It's tough because like advice is advice, but the way that some people react, they're just gonna react that way. I think, and this goes for any of the letters, you know. Um, I don't know. It's a tough one to tackle because it's different for everybody, and I think that at the end of the day, you're only on this planet for so long. You shouldn't live your life to please others. I think if it's something you want, the sooner you get after that, whether it's, you know, relationships or gender or anything else relating to that, the sooner you tackle that stuff, the better. You're gonna thank yourself for it. I think a lot of people, their biggest regret is that they didn't start making changes to make themselves happy sooner. Um, I think the best thing you can always do is just go with your heart and do what makes you happy, because I think that um, if I hadn't made those changes for myself, if I hadn't made those steps, they were the scariest steps I think I've ever made in my life. But I'm gonna be blunt. If I hadn't have done those things to put myself where I am now, I don't think I'd be alive today. So um, it's something that I don't talk about much anymore, just for my own safety and for just the sake of like I don't. It's definitely part of me, but I don't want it to be my whole personality. And it's fine if that's what somebody wants. It's just my own personal choice. I don't want it to be a big part of my life. Um, but I definitely have all the respect in the world to anybody who's in the club, so to speak. And yeah, I think you could ask any single one of us uh from any of the letters what to do, and I think as long as it's safe for you to make the moves to be yourself, you need to be yourself. So, and if you're not in a position where it's safe, you need to get yourself in a position to where it is. I think a lot of people are like, well, if it's not safe, just don't come out. True, but I don't think that you should just be complacent being somebody you're not. I think you need to make the steps to be in a position to where you can be safe being yourself, because um, I think that's the only way you're gonna be happy is if you're yourself. So it took me a very long time to figure that out and a very long time to trust the people I needed to trust. I'm very fortunate. I'm very, very, very fortunate to have met the people I met, and I picked my friends right from the get-go, apparently. Um, but yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't have made those changes. So
Yeah, I know I kind of put you on the spot with this one, but I figured it was the right time, and
yeah, you're okay.
if anyone will know the proper things to say, is someone who been there, done that. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah. I. It's funny you say it has been there, done that, because I'm about done with everything that you really need to do to I guess move on from that, so to speak, if that makes sense. But basically saying what it is without saying what it is. But no, I'm
Yeah, I
very
wasn't
grateful.
sure what how
Yeah.
to say it. If I'm
No,
honest.
you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. I just everybody's different with that too. I just like I said, I don't talk about it too much anymore, just for my own reasons, which is it's just my own opinions on it. But I have no shame in it. I have no like negative opinions anymore. I just it's not it's not what defines me necessarily, which for some people it is, and that's fine. But for me, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just happy where I am now. I'm happy with what I've done, and I think I got there from realizing that I needed to do what made me happy. So I did that, and it worked out, and I don't regret it ever. I've never for a second have I regretted what it is, because it wasn't a decision I had to make. It was always this way. The decision was just embracing it and doing what I had to do for myself. So I've done that, and I'm a lot happier for it.
I'm very glad to hear that. You're a very nice friend and someone that I hope a lot of good things come your way.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you. I don't. Actually, let's go with one more question. Is there any video or stream or that you finished and you're like, oh, this sucked? For like maybe
Oh yeah.
you had prepared everything perfectly, but do you remember one specific case of that?
Oh, dude, I've done so many at this point that there's tons. There's videos that I've gotten halfway through and went, "This is gonna be garbage," and I scrap it. There's streams I've done where I've just been like, "Bro, I am struggling. I'm having a horrible time. I'm not having fun. I'm being bitchy. I'm just gonna end it early before I make anybody upset." It happens. It's just human nature. I think with streaming, it's just human nature because a lot of it is based on how you feel, right? If you feel like crap and you stream, you're not gonna really have a fun stream. But um, if you are making a video, that's just part of the process sometimes. Like, I would not get super discouraged if you're somebody out there who's a streamer or you make videos and you're like, "Man, this sucks. Like, I hate everything about this. It is just garbage. Every shot's effed up. Every part of the storyboard's not coming together how it came together in my head. The music blows. I'm sick of this freaking song." Like, you can either power through it and see what the end product is, but there's sometimes when you've done it for as long as I have, you can get halfway through it and be like, "Bro, this is garbage. This is trash. I ain't even gonna finish it." And then there's a lot of projects that I'll do and I'll start and I want to finish them, but I just lose the drive or like lose the vision. That's why I have a lot of videos on my channel lately from iRacing that I just uploaded. A couple of them were just shorts, just like little fun ones that I wanted to do from like one day of videos or whatever, or one night of racing. But like, let me actually look real quick. Like DNA, the lost video is what it's called on there. That one was like, I wanted to finish it, but like some things happened, life got in the way a little bit, and then the cars changed on iRacing, so I couldn't even get the footage I wanted anymore. Unfortunately, that opportunity closed before I could finish it, but I don't think it sucks. It's a shame that it didn't get finished. But to your actual question, yeah, I hate stuff I put out all the time. I think it's what makes me better at what I do, because I want to try to correct those things moving forward. But there's sometimes you'll do everything right, like you said, and it just doesn't work out sometimes, and that's okay. I think the biggest thing is just to recognize that doesn't mean that you're a shitty artist. It just means that sometimes it doesn't work out. I don't know. Just take a break, come back. Ideas die all the time. It's
Yeah.
part of the process. It's the most frustrating part of the process, but it's just it is what it is.
There's also the reverse side of the coin, where sometimes something you just did without even thinking twice about it, like 30 minutes, ends up blowing up for no reason.
Dude, tell me about it. My most viewed video on my entire channel. I don't even know why the hell it is this way. It's every angle of the huge crash that Austin Dillon had in the 2010 Coke or 2015 Coke 0400. None of that is my content. It is such a cash grab video. I just took everybody's individual video from the grandstands, clobbled it together, and posted it on YouTube, and it blew the fuck up. I don't know why. I don't understand it. It has 2 million views. I made more money on that video alone than I've made on every other video on my YouTube, and I'm so pissed about it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad I made money off of it. I'm like, okay, cool, that's awesome. Especially because during COVID it was blowing up, so that helped me a lot through the pandemic. But like, bro, it is the most low effort cobbledy slop video I've ever effing made, and it is not even gonna get touched. My next most viewed video has 82,000 views. Like it's not even like 5% of what this video got. I'll never understand it. It blew up for no reason. I'm very grateful that it blew up because, you know, I'm not gonna say no to it, but it's so silly. It happens all the time. I upload something that's like one clip for 30 seconds and it just blows up. Or I'll post a YouTube short that I don't even work on. It'll just be a clip from a stream and it blows up. But then I'll work on something for like an hour for a YouTube short, or I'll work on like a video for a freaking week and it gets like 100 views. It's like, bro, you gotta be blowing me right now. It is. Oh my god, yeah. I'm not actually upset about it, but holy cow, that stuff drives me insane sometimes.
It makes you wonder what the hell happened here.
It's the YouTube algorithm, dude. That thing is an enigma. Sometimes some days it's your day, some days it's not your day, but
Like,
yeah.
wanna know what's my most watched YouTube video?
I do actually.
It's a pit stop in the PS2 version of F106.
There you go. Why would that be so popular? Why would everybody be like, "Oh, that looks like a good video." Like, why?
Like,
Like,
just to give a bit further context, it's I think it's still the world record for the shortest pit stop in that game, but I have the record of like every time trial of that game.
are you
And-
talking about Champion Edition?
No, the PS2 version.
Oh, okay, okay. Did you still have to hit the buttons to do the pit stop? Is
Yeah,
that
I
what
still
you
have
meant?
to
Okay.
hit the buttons, but you think the actual laps would be more impressive?
It would
to
be
get the
more
views.
impressive. Yeah, exactly. You would think people would be like, "Oh, that's cool, world record." No, people want to see the pit stop. Like dude, I'm right there with you. I'll never understand it. It never will make sense to me, but I think the best thing to do is just to embrace the stupidity of it, because otherwise you're gonna be like me right now and be complaining about getting a video with 2 million views. They're gonna be, "Oh, look at her, she's so full of shit." Like, no, it's just silly. I'm not complaining. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
It's I'm right there with you. I am so with you on that.
At least it's something to laugh about.
Oh, absolutely. YouTube giveth and taketh away.
Amen. I think this is all I really wanted to ask. I can't think of any further questions, so is there anything else you want to say to anyone who might be watching?
Let me take a drink real quick, sorry. Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm always down to do these kind of things. I haven't done an interview like this in a long, long time, so stoked to be here. Glad to share the word with your viewers, and hopefully some of your people check me out too. I hope everybody enjoyed. To all of our friends that go across both of our what we call it, both our communities. Hi guys. Just to everybody who's been with me on my end of things as well, you yourself included, Saturn. Anybody who's been a supporter of mine, whether you've been a supporter for like 10 seconds or you've been there since the days of me shakily recording the television screen, I'm super, super grateful for it. This has been my job at times, and your guys' support has literally kept me afloat more than one occasion, so I really do appreciate it. You guys are great, and you're a complete sweetheart. Every time I talk to you, Saturn, I really appreciate you bringing me on and trusting me on your channel, and yeah, this is fun. If you ever need a round two in a couple years, I'll be happy to come back. So
Thank you very much, and it's easy to be a sweetheart to you, because you're a sweetheart.
well, thank you.
All right. So we'll stop here. Thank you everyone who heard, because I'm not gonna put any video over this. Thank you for hearing. Love yourselves, and have a good run, everyone. See ya.